Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, I hope all is well. Hope you guys are having a blessed day so far. So something happened to me a couple of days ago, and I was extremely upset. But it took me a minute to calm down. But so this is what it was. I dropped my kid. I had dropped my son to school, and on my way out of the parking lot, it's a very tight parking lot. Not that it's so tight, but it's a small parking lot. And, for those who have children or who are conscious of, school zones, you're not supposed to speed in any of those areas because, you never know if there's a kid who could dart out, out of the parking spaces or for whatever reason. You just know you're not supposed to speed in these areas, right? So I'm driving out of my park. Not actually, I was driving out of the main parking lot, and there was a car coming out of his section. I don't even know how to explain it, but he was coming out of his section, and typically I would have the right because he would have to wait for me to pass before he turns into the lane. I see the car coming at a distance, and I'm just ready, waiting to see if he's gonna stop. But of course he doesn't. So I'm just I'm watching and I'm slowing down, but I'm paying attention, and I see he doesn't stop, so he's still going. So at this point, I'm honking at him so that he could see I'm there, or I'm getting ready to brake, but he's still going. So then I honk extremely long, and then finally, for some reason, it took him a minute to realize I was there, and it took him a minute to even hear the honking. I stop, and then he's in the way, and then he realizes it. And then he goes, I could read his lips. He's saying, I'm sorry. He's an older gentleman. So I know a part of me was like, you know what, Shavla, it's okay. He probably, it took him a minute to realize because he's a much older gentleman. He's probably he's in his senior years. So I was like, okay, Shavla, it's okay. Let him pass. So mind you, after the whole, honking situation, kind of abrupt stop for him, because I had already stopped. Abrupt stop for him. He probably was startled or whatever. Like I said, he's a senior. So I was like, all right, I let him go. After he told me he's sorry, I had read his lips. He said, I'm sorry. I told him he could pass. Both of us are startled. So it's taking me a little time to collect myself. He goes ahead, and then I have to stop again for the main street cars to pass, right? So then anyway, and I continue my way, I go home. Later that afternoon, I'm trying to pick up my son. I pick him up. And then I'm like, nice to, have a great day to the teacher. And then 2 seconds later, she opens the door again, and she says, oh, by the way, the security guard told me to tell you that, there's some parents who are complaining that you were speeding in the parking lot, and told me to tell you that you should not speed in the parking lot. And then I was just like, what? So I told the teacher, I was like, when was this? What are they talking about? I'm already getting annoyed. I'm like, first of all, who parents are telling you to tell me, or telling the security guard to tell me that I'm speeding and not to speed anymore? As if they're sending me a message don't do this anymore, because I should know they're saying that I should know there's children in the area. I shouldn't be speeding. So I already got the vibe. My vibe was already my mood was already off. I was already turned off, and I was just like, when was this? What are you talking? She's like, I don't know. I'm just here. I'm just the messenger. The security guard told me to tell me it's the boy's mother. The boy's mother. So I'm sitting there the boy's mother. How do they, first of all, and mind you, earlier that morning, I was driving a different car. I was driving my husband's car that morning. And then in the afternoon, I was driving my car. So it's two separate cars. But then within seconds, they're the boy's mother. I'm just like, all right, whatever. So I'm talking to her, and she's just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry. I'm just giving you the message. I understand. She sees me getting worked up. I'm getting worked up. I'm getting emotional. She hears it in my voice, and I'm getting, because I know, I just knew, and I believe it was the Holy Spirit. I just knew it was one of those moments where I was being biased against. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I was this, and the person who was in the wrong was like this. Was a different, hue, let's just say a different hue. And immediately, unfortunately in this world, immediately that's what I thought. I'm like, oh, okay, because I saw the people standing there when I was honking, and I saw the security guard. but they probably didn't realize the situation. They just saw me honking at this other person and automatically saw I was in the wrong. If you didn't see the situation before the honking, how could you know I was speeding? Logically, it wouldn't make sense that I was speeding because I'm the one that actually saw him from a distance and started to slow down and started to honk while he started coming at me. Logically, it doesn't make sense, right? So then I'm just like, oh, that's when I was like, I bet this is what's going on. I'm being biased towards, right? And then